we also want you to meet your world when you're here. And that's not just here in Vedersø, but that's also out in the big wide world. And we do that through various trips. We always have an intro and outro trip for all students, which are sort of bonding trips, team building, at the beginning and at the end of the year. So these students will be heading to a local city called Silkeborg at the end of the year for a few days to round off the year. But they've already been in the Czech Republic back in September, and that's a trip for the whole campus. So that's all 260 students heading to the Czech Republic or Czechia for 1 week to do team building activities up in the mountains. We also visited Theresienstadt, the former detention camp, concentration camp, and we also went to Prague to get some cultural insights as well. And that's a trip for everyone, and that is included in the fee. And that's a sort of 5 days away from school, traveling by bus as well. So just the bus trip alone, 13, 14 hours, getting to know each other, guys. You remember that well, yeah. Especially those sitting in my bus where unfortunately the toilet didn't work on the way home, but that's life as well. That's part of it, part of the experience. But I think for many of the students, and that's something we're going to talk about now, is this world trip that we offer. Now, we normally try and head out in end of February, March time, so we get some good weather in the colder months here in Denmark. And the destinations do vary from year to year. This year we were in Australia, we were in Hawaii in the US, we were in Guadeloupe in the French Caribbean, and then there was a group that remained in Europe and went to an exchange school in France, and then had a week in Barcelona. Now, the overseas destinations that I mentioned there, the ones that are a bit further away, there is an additional fee for those, which covers flights and accommodation, which is currently 18,000 Danish kroners, but obviously with the flight prices going up, it is something that we do monitor. For those that choose to remain in Europe, there is no additional fee for that. But like I said, they're the trips that we offered this year, and you can see some of the highlights rolling on the screen at the moment. But whilst we're doing that, Anna-Karin, where did you go?
Well, I went to Australia.
You went to Australia. How was that experience?
It was a very interesting experience. Well, like the first 2 planned weeks, to say so, they were very, very nice. But then our little extra stay for 6 days, I think it was. Yeah,
you should maybe give the audience some context there. How comes we ended up staying for a week longer? I was with you on that trip, so.
Well, I think it was.
The conflict in Iran.
The conflict that they decided to bomb the Qatar airport, so our flight was cancelled, and we had to stay for an extra week in Australia, and we were able to visit the capital.
Yeah.
There.
So typically we're away for 14 days, but the students in Australia, they got a bonus week as well. So we got to squeeze even more in. What was the highlight for you, though, of the trip to Australia?
Probably, I can't name only one because there were quite some, but probably some of the hikes we did when we went to the infinity pool, that we got a little bit lost.
Yeah, also. So we went out of Sydney for a few days, went to the Blue Mountains to see some nature, did some hikes.
In the Blue Mountains, then in Canberra, just the Science Museum, it was very nice. Then, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the climbing, it was very, very nice. Just seeing Sydney from the top, it was very, very...
Yeah, and you actually stayed at the school, in the boarding school, so you had a host partner that took care of you. So what was it like actually getting sort of to know local people there? And
well, I was able to meet a lot of more girls from, most of the girls that stay in the host sister school are from China. So I was able to meet with them and just talk to how their experience living in that type of boarding school is, because it's quite different from TI.
Yep.
So.
And Luca, what about you? You went to Hawaii?
Yeah, I went to Hawaii, and we went to Waikiki, where we basically had lots of free time, but we also did lots of studies. So we went and climbed a dead volcano. We explored through Waikiki's tourist attractions. We went to a war museum, and then further on in the trip, we went to stay at Camp Erdmann, which was a very interesting and fun camp experience. where we then met with our exchange school, and where we spent a couple of days learning about their multicultural backgrounds, their environment, and just the way they live. So it was very interesting. When we were in Waikiki, I learned to surf for the first time, and many others of my peers did as well, which was very interesting and a very cool experience. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So just some of the highlights from these amazing trips that the students have the opportunity to go on. Now, obviously seeing the pictures, hearing about their experiences, you can think, wow, you know, a 2-week holiday for the students. And yes, there are, of course, touristic elements to it. They are wonderful destinations. And of course,
Yes.
we're not going to cheat our students out of the opportunity to go surfing, lay on the beach, see some of the tourist sites. But they are study trips. And one of the big parts of these trips is actually meeting other young people. At every destination, we at least have some element of exchange, whether it be visiting schools, meeting with young people from those schools, staying in the boarding school, or even staying with host families for some, or if not all of the time that we are there. It varies from each trip, but it's just an amazing opportunity to really get close to the culture, to learn from the local people themselves. And we really feel that gives the true, authentic experience, as well as enjoying, of course, some of the fun things that are on offer there and there. I mean, I am very lucky. I have been to all of our destinations, and I can't choose between them. They're all amazing places, and who knows where we'll be going next year as well. So currently, Australia, Hawaii, Guadeloupe, something in Europe is on offer. We've also been in Turkey, we've been in Singapore, Malaysia in previous years as well. So keep an eye on our website, and of course we'll let students know as and when we've made the decisions where we're going. And